Meet Holly Chorba, author and photographer of It's Okay, Scream in the Shower. You'll hear her talking to her book club. Holly explains how she came to pay it forward to those dealing with grief through this recent release. This book really took me over 3 years to write this book. And I always have written, I always wrote journals off and on since I was 7 years old, and my family went to Florida. And my father told me to write a journal of the trip. And I've always taken pictures since I was in high school, especially when my son was young, of course. Yeah. But when Ron passed away, I kind of stopped both of those things for a little while. But what really inspired me to write was the preface, which is by Linda Sparks. Yeah. Linda Sparks called me up maybe 2 days after Ron passed away. And Linda lives at La Posada with you guys. Mm-hmm. And I knew her from Camera Club, but not real well. And she said, Holly, I'm sorry, I heard your husband passed away. And I said, yes. And she says, well, my husband died 8 years ago, which I had no idea.
Yeah, I didn't know she'd even been married.
Right. And she said, after he passed away, there was a lot of things that I wished I had known. And I wrote them all down. And I put them in an email to Linda Gregory, among other people, and sent them to her when Dave passed. And she said, people I've sent them to have found them very helpful. Do you want me to send it to you? So I said, yeah, sure, please. And it was the preface that says, okay, so hubby's dead. Here's what you need to do. It saved my life. And I emailed that to probably 6 or so friends.
All of us.
Yeah, I sent them all. I sent the preface to all of you. Right. And some other friends I had who were older, and you never know when these things are going to happen, but it's more likely then. And then I started reading just because I wanted to put my head somewhere, and of course it was on dying and grief and stuff, and I started reading. I have a collection of probably 50 books that I read during that first few months. And writing a little bit later on, but I kind of stopped taking pictures for quite a while. And then one of my friends passed away back in New York, and his wife was a friend of mine. And I was trying to support her long distance, and I would send her little texts every day with photographs. And she responded to those. And so after a while, I got back to New York, and I was telling her I was going to write a book. And she said, oh, you're going to include your photos, aren't you? And I hadn't planned on including the photos. And she said, you've got to include your photos. So I thought, well, okay, maybe I will. So I asked her, which photos she had found, kind of spoke to her, and she's into numerology a bit too, so she talked to me about threes and fours and dozens, and that it kind of helped me organize the book, because when I had been writing, I was just sort of writing journal style. And when I decided I wanted to share this with other people in a way that would be helpful to them, I had to reorganize. So the way the book is organized now, I don't know, it's pretty unusual, I think, to have 2 tables of contents. But that's what I have, like the overall look at it, and then in each of the 3 phases, you see there's 4 parts that deal with physical and emotional being, and communicating and relating, and spiritual solace and evolution and practice. So for people who are have dealt with loss, which probably almost everybody has, they can turn to a section that's kind of where they're at now, because everybody's different. For some people, it might take years to just get through phase 1. And for other people, they might be like on phase 3 without ever having experienced a major loss, because phase 3 is pretty much just getting on with life, being your own person. But I had several people help me as far as editing. I have a couple retired English teacher friends who went through it. And then I was so lucky. One of my friends had published a book about her mom. When her mom passed away, she decided to write a book for her grandkids on her mother's role in the French resistance during World War II. And so I asked her about, well, how did you get your book published? And she connected me with a woman who had been a publisher, a small publishing company of two women, The Right Stuff it was called, and one of them, no, Right Plus, I think. Anyway, one of them had retired, both of them had retired. And, but she I met up with, and she was such a big help to me. She's the one who found the printer for this.
This is, I like the way it was done with the spiral and the back bow and everything, so easy to flip and.
Yeah, well, thank you. The whole point, I told her I wanted 7 by 10, which is not easy to find in printers. I wanted it about the size of a National Geographic, because it's easy to pick up and hold and carry, and yet it's big enough to show the photos reasonably. So I wanted it that size. I wanted spiral binding because I would have places in here to write, and you need it to lay flat for that. And also the photos are better. If you're going to do the meditation stuff, it's better to just open it and be able to lay it flat and do that. So I needed that, and I needed a company that would mix color pages with black and white, and the print would come out reasonably good.
Oh, no, that's a lot of consideration.
Yeah.
I know Stephanie's written books, and she's but regular,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
But she had gone through this wasn't even just what to put on the cover.
Right.
That was a long, ordeal on some things.
right. I found out when you deal with self-publishing, one of the questions you'll probably get asked is, do you want to design your own cover or hire somebody? And I had come up with the title, It's Okay, Scream in the Shower, because I'd been talking to a friend of mine who also lost her husband about 6 months after I lost mine. And she was really upset, and she was telling me about how you just get so emotional and your intellect kind of goes out the window for months, but you just get so emotional. And I said, yeah, it helps to get that out. Like I just scream in the shower. So it's okay, scream in the shower or wherever. And she said, yeah, I think I'll try that in the car. So that's what she did.
Not the busy parking lot.
No, but that's where the title came from. And then I just decided at some point to take a picture of myself screaming in the shower. So that's that's me.
You are kidding.
No, that's me. And then I wanted to make it a little abstract, So I edited it, and I thought, no, I'm going to design my own cover. I want to do that. So I did.
I'm impressed.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Writing pictures, cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Steph never.
Are you facing the death of your spouse or searching for ways to help a friend whose partner has passed away? Are you the executor of an estate? Do you not know where to start, not even know how one can survive such grief? The Atlas of Guideposts in It's Okay, Scream in the Shower provides paths leading from pervasive grieving to calm surviving to actually thriving while still carrying grief. Read what needs to be taken care of immediately, then consider the various routes that can guide a journey toward a gratifying life after loss. Copies of It's Okay, Scream in the Shower retail for $23.95, or discounts are available at book signings in person. To purchase a copy online, pay via PayPal or contact Holly at hollychorba@gmail.com and arrange to send your check. Thanks for listening. Enjoy the present and live your life with love.